Today's video is going to be a story time. I wanted to get a couple more story times on my channel. I have my shades on because I was really about to leave, but I said, you know what, I'll just go ahead and film a couple videos because I'm not in a super big rush. But anyways, today's story time happened a couple months back. It was back in, I'd have to say probably January or February, something like that. Yeah, this guy really tried me. He really thought, I don't know what made him think, but he really thought. So anyways, let's just get into the video. Just a disclaimer, if you guys keep hearing beeping in the background, that is because of my smoke alarms. I'm very sorry. I cannot change the batteries yet. I am too short for that. I'm very short. I'm like 5'2" or 5'3", something like that. So, and if you guys like this hair, I have a video that I'm gonna post soon. There it goes. I have a video that I'm posting soon on how I got this hair and everything. So if you like that, if you like this, I don't know, subscribe and turn my post notifications on so you can get notified when I post a video. Okay, so I used to be on a dating website, honestly. Oh my god, this is why I don't wear weaves. My head was itching, I'm sorry. So I used to be on a dating website called Plenty of Fish before I got into a relationship. I'm in a relationship now, so I got off of it, but this was before I got into a relationship. And I met this guy, and we're not gonna call him, we're just gonna call him Jay. We're gonna call him Jay because it's similar to his name, and I can't think of any other name to call him because, like, I don't know, but we're just gonna call him Jay. Jay was cool. I mean, he was attractive or whatever. He seemed like a cool guy. He was cute, and you know, he was funny. So we ended up we were texting and everything, and he was all like, oh, you know, my phone is off. We were texting over the app, and he's like, oh, my phone is turned off, so let me just go ahead and make a profile on a texting app really quick, and then I'll give you my number. And I said, okay, cool, that's fine. Then I said, you know what, just, you know, I'll just give you my number. Just text me when you know, get the account ready on the app. And he said, all right, that sounds good. So for whatever reason, it took him 3 hours to make an account on an app. Why? I don't know, but it took him 3 hours. And he finally texted me. So I was like, at this time, I completely forgot I'd even talked to this guy. So I was like, he texted me, he's like, hey Nikki, it's Jay. And I was like, who? He's like, it's Jay, you know, you met me on Plenty of Fish, you started talking. I was like, oh, okay, cool, what's up? And this guy, he lived in my neighborhood. And when I say my neighborhood, he literally, I know what, I've passed his street. I've never seen this guy ever. So I've passed his street. So I knew exactly where he lived. And he's all like, yeah, you know, I live on yada 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 street. After we start talking, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're talking and everything, and he ended up calling me on the phone, and he's like, can I call you? I was like, sure, yeah, you can call me. And he was like, all right, cool. So he called me, and we're talking and everything. And I'm like, where do you live? It says you're in, you know, my area. And he's all like, oh, you know, I almost said my city. I didn't want to say that, but you know, I'm from Dallas, but I didn't want to be so specific because I don't know who all in my area watches my videos, and just know. And yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to keep that level of privacy there. He's all like, yeah, you know, I live on this street right here. And I was like, oh, that street, I know that street. I pass by that street like all the time. Like, I know exactly where he's like, yeah, my house is the one. He described his house. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly where you live. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. So, we're talking and everything because on Plenty of Fish, I had never met anyone in my area, like, ever. Like, no one's ever in my area. They're always somewhere else. They're always in Arlington or um, Mansfield or wherever else. They're never really in my area. So, or downtown Dallas or wherever else. Never in my area. So I thought that was cool, and then we started talking, and he seemed like he was a pretty cool guy. He was funny, so I could get used to that. He had a sense of humor, and I like a person with a sense of humor because I'm very goofy at times. Most of the time, I'm serious. I'm usually very serious, but if I like you in any way, yes, I'm a little goofy with you at times. I am a little goofy, a little bit, but he was funny and everything. So we talked for a couple hours, but like as we started to talk, like I would talk to him and ask him stuff, but like he would talk over me. I was like, maybe he just didn't hear me because I know how these texting apps are because I used to have one. So I was like, maybe he just doesn't hear me. So I repeat myself and he just talked over me again. So I did not like that at all. I'm just trying to get to know you and you're talking over me. I'm asking you questions about you and you're talking over me. And it was only certain things he would talk over me about, like, do you have any kids? Where are you originally from? Like, just certain things, just awkward, just weird. And so I asked him again. I was like, so do you have any kids? And he was all like, yeah, I got a son. And like I did not know if he was joking or if he was serious because he was one of those people who played way too much. Like he plays way too much. He's one of those people. And he's like, I'm like, oh, okay. So are you originally from Texas or? I'm sorry, I was looking at a car go by. I was like, so are you originally from Texas? Like, where are you from? He's like, oh no, I'm from Louisiana. I was like, oh, okay, cool. My dad's from Louisiana, so that's another story. Me and my dad really don't get along. I don't know. It's like most people from Louisiana I don't get along with. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, so he was like, I'm from Louisiana. I was like, oh, okay. And it was a part I'm pretty familiar with in Louisiana, so that threw me off a little bit because I have so much family in Louisiana. He could easily be my cousin. And we started talking and everything. We're talking and talking and talking, and we ended up getting off the phone that night because I was playing NBA 2K17. Was I playing 17 or 16? I was playing 16. I was playing 2K16 and on Xbox One. And he's all like, yeah, I love 2K16. And I don't remember exactly how the conversation ended, but we ended up getting off the phone. I was like, all right, cool. He's cool. He lives in my area. He doesn't seem too bad. I talked to him. I'm gonna skip forward. I talked to him a couple days later. Like I've been talking to him for a couple days, like every day for a couple of days. He's like, send me pictures of you, sent him pictures of me and everything. Like he seemed pretty cool, and I don't know. He all of a sudden he's like, oh, I have to go to Louisiana and take care of my grandmother. She's sick. So I thought that was sweet. I'm like, you're going to take care of your grandmom. That's actually really, really sweet. So he left that weekend, that next day, because this was Friday. We had this conversation on Friday, and he left that next day. So he was gone when he was gone, like I texted him while he was there and everything. I thought that we would still, be communicating. He said he's gonna come back in a couple weeks. I thought we were gonna still have some sort of communication. And I was like, okay, because I'm that type of person. I don't like to meet people too fast. Like, I'm not gonna just talk to you and then meet you the next week. So you being gone for a couple of weeks gives me enough time to get to know you and see if I actually want to meet you. And he left. I don't know, when he left, I did not hear anything from him at all. No, hey, how you doing? No text, no call, no nothing. So I just stopped hitting him up. I was like, okay, whatever, forget it. And I started, I had things I was doing on my own anyways. I started doing my own thing. And then out of the blue, one day, like 3 weeks later, he hits me up. And I'm like, at this point, in my head, I don't talk to you anymore. You don't know how to respond. So I'm just going to delete your number out of my phone. And we're not going to have any lines of communication. And I forgot to mention, by this time, he had paid his phone bill. So this was his actual phone number. It wasn't just some type of miscommunication with the app, or the app was not glitching out or anything. Miscommunication with the app. So I was like, at this point, I'm just like, who are you? He texts me, he's like, hey, how you doing, baby girl? I was like, who are you? Who is this? And I promise I was not trying to be rude. I just really did not know who he was, because I had genuinely deleted his number. Okay? And he was all like, oh, this is Jay. I was like, Jay? I don't know what Jay. Oh, Jay. You know how like you're like, I don't know who you're doing. You're like, that doesn't ring a bell. And then you're like, oh, I know who you are. That's how it was. And I was like, oh, okay, hey, what's up? He's like, damn, you deleted my number already? I was like, well, I've been trying to hit you up for like a week, and you didn't respond. I hadn't heard from you for about 3 weeks. He's like, oh, it wasn't that long. I was like, actually, it was. But all right, I wasn't salty or anything. It was just like, why do you all of a sudden disappear when you go out of town? I mean, I understand if you're busy, but like, you're not that busy. I'm sorry. That might seem rude, but you're not that busy. You're not. So, he says, oh, I was busy with my grandmom and yada yada yada. So we're talking and everything's cool. We start talking again, and I don't know, like, he was strange. I mean, he seemed like he was cool. Sorry, I was looking outside at the cars. There's a truck in front of the house. But he seemed like he was cool or whatever, but then like he'd go to Louisiana and he'd just disappear, and I didn't have the time for that. Like, I don't have the time to be wondering where you are all the time. So I was just kind of over it or whatever, but we started talking again, kind of heavy, like on a day-to-day basis, calling me on the phone on a day-to-day basis. So I was like, okay, cool. I guess maybe he was just busy. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, like I think a couple weeks later, 3-4 weeks later, he's all like, oh, I gotta go back to Louisiana again. I said, all right, well, I know I'm not gonna hear from you, so I'm just going to let you know I'll probably delete your number again. And he's all like, oh, don't do that. Like, I'll hit you up. I said, all right, fine, whatever, cool. I deleted his number anyways, because I was really convinced I wasn't gonna talk to him anymore after this. And I know that seems so rude, but I was really convinced I wasn't gonna hear from him anymore. So I just deleted his number again. And he was, what did he say? He left, and once again I didn't hear from him for like a good week and a half, 2 weeks. He comes back, oh, I'm sorry, I was helping my grandma. I'm gonna end up moving down here to help my grandma or whatever. I was like, oh, when are you moving? He's all like, no time soon, probably like in 6 months to a year. And I was like, okay, I mean, you're helping your grandma. To me, it didn't make sense, because you're helping your grandmother, but you're gonna move down there in 6 months to a year, but you're like back and forth. That doesn't make sense to me. But okay, I didn't think too much of it. It wasn't that serious to me. It wasn't that important. So we started talking strong again for a while, and like I said, he went back to Louisiana. I hope I didn't get the story mixed up, but we started talking again. He went back to Louisiana. I didn't hear from him for a couple of weeks, and about a month, about a month, and he came back.